A very good evening and welcome to Big Talk here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. Well, you can join the conversation right now on our various social media and currently showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. And you can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app to also stay and keep track of our broadcast as it stands right now. Well, quite a lot of conversations to discuss even here on Big Talk. Is it from the eastern part of Nigeria, the western part of Nigeria, to the north, and then to the southern part of Nigeria, and quite a lot of conversation. But we'll begin the conversation this evening from Anambra State, where President Bola Tinubu has just left. And of course, celebration is still on in Anambra State. Well, the Anambra State government has expressed excitement over the promises made by President Bola Tinubu during his state visit on Thursday. Tinubu speaking during a town hall meeting at Dr. Alex Ekweme Square in Oka after inaugurating some key projects promised to tackle the issues around erosion in the state, link Kogi and Anambra State through road infrastructure and among other promises. In a statement on Friday, the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mefo, said the visit served its purpose. During the visit, President Tinubu inaugurated new Anambra Government House, the Solution Fund City, the 8-lane dual highway leading to the new government building, and the Light of the Nation Tower. Meanwhile, beyond the promises made by the president, the people of the state seemed overjoyed by Tinubu's tacit endorsement of Governor Chukwuma Soludo for a second term in office. Well, how correct is that? We'll get to find out in the course of the show. But Anambra will, on November the 8th, hold a governorship election, and Soludo again will be on the ballot box seeking re-election. There have been fears that Tinubu may back the APC candidate in the election. However, his comments about Soludo's performance have calmed nerves among governor's supporters. Well, joining me this evening to talk about the number of states and happenings within the state right now is Faith Esedo, who is a member aspirant for the House of Representatives, Anambra East and West. And she's joining me live in the studio for us to assess and give an overview of the President Bola Tinubu's visit. Not forgetting that she is also an APC stakeholder in Anambra State. First, let me welcome you to a Big Talk, Ruth.
Good evening, Mr. Godwin.
All right. All right, so Ruth, let's look at this whole visit of Mr. President. Of course, Anambra, Ndi Anambra, like they said. Of course,
Exactly.
Mr. President has now become a stakeholder in the state. Of course, he has received a title from the state. But let's look at all of this. What do you make of the President's visit to the state in the light of this whole excitement?
Okay. Firstly, we want to thank Mr. President Asuwaju for his honoring that invitation, because for the past 12 years, there haven't been a presidential visit to the state, and that shows that he is a progressive president wanting to carry everybody along. He's trying to carry everybody along his administration. So it is a welcome development. We all are happy that he came. Anambra State is not the only state he visited. He has been touring the nation, to see what is going on in different states. So Anambra is inclusive, and that is what he came for yesterday. He came to, for a walking tour to commission some projects like we saw online, the new government house, and also the Soludo Fund City. These are the two major legacy projects, as they speculated, as they said, that Mr. President came to commission.
Quite interesting so far, but let's look at the president's entire speech.
Okay.
And we know by November the 8th, the president Anambra will be returning back to the polls. And what it seems right now is that the All Progressive, I don't know, I might be wrong, but it tends to be that the president has given his full blessing to Charles Soludo by also commending him for the job he has been doing for the good people of Anambra. But in your own assessment, do you think that this is a full endorsement of Governor Soludo by the president?
Okay, so what makes you think that he gives a tactical endorsement? Why is that speculation? Why do you think that was a tactical endorsement?
Well, to start with, you saw when the president was reading out the achievements of Governor Soludo.
Okay.
Of course, you know, Governor Soludo has been on the progressive lane. And he said it is time for progressives to work together. That is invariably, tactically, one will begin to deduce that he's ready to work with the president as it stands. So looking at all of this and try to place, you are a stakeholder in Anambra State. You understand the terrain better than I do. Could that word by Mr. President means a complete endorsement by the president and a blessing to Soludo as the blessed candidate for the progressives?
All right. Firstly, I want to correct this impression, and that is that the visit of Mr. President to Anambra State was just a walking tour to the state. Anambra State was not the only state Mr. President visited recently. He visited Katsina. In the southeast, he visited Enugu and Abia, and then followed by Anambra State. And then that of Anambra State is not different. It was the same thing he did in other states that he came to Anambra State to do, and that is to commission some projects which have mentioned the new government house and the Soludo Solution Fund City. And these are the two projects that was mentioned. We call the legacy project of Soludo. This is the real thing Mr. President came for. And the speculation all over the internet that Mr. President have endorsed Governor Soludo, it is not true. It is not true, because while he was giving his speech, you know, he stated that the governor did well. He kind of applauded him for his works in office, which he did in other states. Mr. President is a man who tries to, you know, carry everybody along and then applaud you for what you have done, because he is the commander-in-chief of the nation. So it is the right thing he did. What he did was the right thing, and there was no endorsement. There was no place in the speech that he endorsed Mr. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. He applauded him for... Now, there was a statement he made. He said something, that he came to commission a legacy project, and with the vision tagged the Soludo Fund City and New Anambra State government house. That is our legacy. He said, your legacy project. That is how Mr. President put it. He said, your legacy project. So it's a kind of, if you look at that statement, is like what he expected from a professor of economics as Soludo is not what is on ground. Because if you look at other states, what they did and what Mr. President commissioned in other states, you can be able to tell that what they did is far better off than what Mr. Soludo, Governor Soludo, presented to Mr. President to commission. Number one, when we talk about the government house, what is a government house that the president that should attract such, you know, how do I put it? Such noise from Apuga. And another thing again, the fun city. What is a fun city that should attract such noise from Apuga? And so what I'm trying to say is that what Soludo presented to Mr. President as Anambra State's vision for his past 3 years of what he has done for the past 3 years is not enough. It is not something that we should be happy about. If you look at what happened in Katsina, what happened in Enugu, what happened in Abia State, that alone will tell you that Soludo gave a poor performance. Looking at the way we rated him when he came into power. Before him was a governor who built an international airport, and also what is it called? This other international conference center. Though there was no president came to commission it, but these two projects alone is a very massive project to swallow what is Solution Fund City. And what is a new government house? We have a government house already. In a time like this, what the people need is something that will generate IGR and something that will give employment to our youth. Because we all know we're in a global recession. Mr. President cannot be doing everything for us. Every state government knows what is good for their people. And so Soludo is in the known of these things. So looking at what he did, it was a very poor performance from his own end as a governor who's been in power for the past 3 years. And all what you can present to Mr. President is a Solution Fund City, an amusement park, and then a new government house. This is not what the people need.
All right, Ruth, let's come back to some of the achievements or some of the things that the president came to commission, even in Anambra State. The nation's Light of the Nation Tower has been also alleged to be a tourist attraction for Anambra State. And as soon as it was lit up, it will bring more tourists into the state. And don't you think
that
again
that
this will,
the
Light of the Nation Tower, don't you think that this will also, if tourists are coming to the state, it will also generate some form of internal revenue? You don't think so?
That is not the need of the state at the moment.
But this is Anambra State, and Soludo has always been at the forefront of championing the cause of development in the state. And in the Anambra have not said otherwise. I'm not from Anambra. You are from Anambra. In your own assessment.
You just said it. You said it as though you are sure of it. Now I'm telling you, there is this thing that we love in this part of the world. We love, speculations. Speculations is another thing that is a problem to us. But when we talk to come to the real matter on ground, the truth is that a governor who's been in power for the past 3 years, and all you can come up with, and all you can come up with is just the new government house and then Solution Fund City. These two things is what he called his legacy project. Now, the new government house, how many revenue do we get from there? We have a government house already. I'm not saying that it is not good for a government house to build, but he is a professor of economics. He should know what is the need of the people at this present time. We are not talking about whether the government house is not the need of the people. In a time we are faced with hardship, in a time we are faced with global recession, this is not the need of Anambra at this present time. So he's doing the right thing at the wrong time. You are in power for the past 3 years, and all what you can show to Mr. President is a new government house, your sleeping place, and then what is it called? The Solution Fund City. The recent outing of our Anambra State WAEC. Do you know what we got? I think we came 14th. From 1st to 3rd, and doing Soludo's, this is his first term. Doing his administration, Anambra came 4th. So that is to tell you a poor performance. As a man who is a professor of economics, we intelligent as he shows off. But looking at his working, what he has put in place, looking at his work, there is nothing. In fact, it was a poor performance. So I want to tell us that the new government house is not the right thing we need now. That is not what the state need now. People need employment. We need revenue. The nation, the federation cannot be supplying us everything. Anambra is so resourceful enough to get things for themselves. And so what Mr. Governor Soludo presented is not the right thing we should be showing at this time. Look at Castina. Is Abia State bigger than Anambra State? Is Abia State more resourceful than Anambra State? Look at Enugu State. But if you look at what they presented to Mr. President to commission, you will surely know that Mr. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, he didn't perform well.
Well, let's take that to be coming from your own perspective right now, because
no, it is not coming from my own perspective. It is the reality.
The way Anambra came
the
out
new
yesterday
government
to
house,
show
the new government house is not what is needed at the moment.
But the way Anambras came out yesterday to show their support, even to welcome Mr. President.
Who are the Anambras?
The Anambra, you saw the video.
I don't know the one you saw. Well, of course, Soludo invited Mr. President.
In Oka, the stadium was full to capacity.
Yes, it was full to capacity because
people came out to welcome the president.
Yes, Mr. President is coming.
All right, so
everybody loves to see who their president is, so they have to come.
Let's move away from that particular conversation right now.
Okay.
Let's return back to the president visit and the members of the All Progressive Congress right now. Okay. One would have expected as soon as the president got to Anambra, he would get a perfect reception by the people of the All Progressive Congress, the members of the All Progressive Congress.
Okay.
But then it tends to be that the All Progressive House is divided against itself, because we didn't see that happen. And the president did not make reference or at any point try to call for a peace talk or a meeting within the All Progressive Congress.
Yeah.
I want to ask, as a stakeholder, is it the president's silence to the people of the All Progressive Congress, even in Anambra State, could it mean that the House is completely fallen, or there is no chance of APC standing a chance even in the forthcoming election?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. Firstly, I want you to know that the invitation by Mr. President wasn't for the APC. He came to honor the invitation of Charles Chukwuma.
And by extension, he would have just paid a visit or just said hi to his people.
I'm coming.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm coming. When he landed in the airport, it was the APC that received him, even before Apuga came on board. We were all on ground in the airport. The APC came to receive their home. He saw them. But I want us to understand that what Mr. President did is the right thing, because he is the president of the nation Nigeria. And his administration is all-inclusive administration. So trying to discriminate is not part of his agenda for Nigeria. What he did yesterday was the right thing he's supposed to do. So welcoming, going forward to honor the invitation of Charles Chukwuma Soludo at Ekwueme Square is what he's supposed to do. And that does not in any way mean that Mr. President has endorsed Charles Chukwuma Soludo. Like I stated, what he came for was a working visit. Anambra is part of the state he visited. The other state he visited before yesterday. So why is Anambra owned different?
What we're saying is, first, the president, DK Simba, the title that was given to him yesterday by Ndi Anambra, DK Simba. I think I can recall that particular title.
Simba.
All right, so when we look at the title and looking at the whole scenario that played out yesterday in Anambra State, first, you said he came to honor an invitation.
Yes.
One would have thought that the president would have stayed a day extra to be able to have a meeting or a tete-a-tete with the people of the All Progressive Congress on ground in order to mitigate the party and also help to reinforce support. But we didn't see that play out. Couldn't this also be an indication that because the House is not standing rightly, or the House is divided, or the House is divided against itself? Of course, you say the House is not divided, but those of us in the media space, we think otherwise and we see otherwise when it comes to the All Progressive Congress, even in Anambra State. Now, looking at all of this, people will say that because the president was quiet about this and was speaking highly of Governor Soludo, that implies that the president is giving an endorsement. Of course, he spoke volume about the governor of the state, and he also poured a comment up, giving him all the accolades. You can't take that away.
The accolades he gave to Governor Soludo,
Yes.
he also gave it to other governors he visited.
But if you're not performing, it's difficult.
There was if you follow, it wasn't an endorsement. It isn't now.
Welcome back. We sincerely apologize for that break in transmission. Well, we're still talking about Anambra State, and I'm still talking with Ruth here in the studio, who is an APC stakeholder. We're trying to put some of the issues in perspective about the president's visit. And Ruth, we were saying that the APC president's silence on this matter, which happens to be around the APC, and he got to Anambra yesterday, and he didn't have that conversation with them. He was still quiet. He went up to the podium and pour a comium that sounds like blessing to the president, extolling the president and the governor rather, and some of the achievements that the governor has been able to conquer. Now, this sounds like a campaign strategy where you've been praised, you've been extolled, you've been magnified for people to see what you're doing. At this point in time, don't you think that because the president have come out to speak and give his own support to the president, to the governor of Anambra State, this will further demarcate the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, and hereby this becomes an endorsement by people. And this is the angle most people will be looking at it from and saying, yes, the president has been able to endorse the governor because by the extolation and also the praise that he gave, it looks like an approval and an endorsement. Or don't you think so?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Godwin. Like we are saying, the visit of Mr. President to Anambra State is the right thing he's supposed to do, because for the past 12 years, no president, even the past president, didn't visit the state. And so Mr. President did well by visiting the state. Like I stated, he came on a walking visit. Anambra State is not the only state he has visited so far. He visited Katsina, he visited Enugu State, he visited Abia State. And so Anambra's case is not different. The reason why people are speculating this is because this year is Anambra's election. November 8th is the general election. Other states is not like that. So all attention is on Anambra State, and that is why they pointed at most of these things he said. He applauded Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, which is true. The same way he applauded other governors in other states where he visited. Like I told us before, that looking at what Governor Charles Chukwuma presented as his legacy project for Anambra State is Dubai Tower vision for Anambra State. These two things is not enough to attract this noise. The reason why people are speculating that the applause of Mr. President to Soludo is a tactical endorsement is because Anambra, come November 8, 2025, Anambra will be having a high general election. But that statement, that applaud is not an endorsement. After all, he did that in other states. So, and another thing I want us to know that Mr. President is the leader of APC. He is the leader of the party. And there is no way he can leave APC to endorse another party, the opposition party, whereas he is the leader of this party. So Mr. President did never at any time endorse Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. What he did yesterday in Anambra State is what he's supposed to do. Mr. President is a smart man and he knows how to use his word.
And you think that the conflict between Nicholas Okachukwu and Ozugbo has not even also...
I don't think they have any conflict.
Well, it looks like a faction.
Oh, okay.
And, go ahead, please.
Okay. I'm not saying... There is nothing serious between my principal, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu, with Ozugbo. Ozugbo came after the sales of delegate form. That was when he showed interest that he's contesting the election. I don't even understand why he's making all the noise. Because even when he came into the party, he came alone, no follower. So, and what is his scores? 60-something scores. Is that what you are taking to court for what? Against a man who scored 1,455 votes? Everybody in the party are just come looking at him because there's nothing he knows he's saying. So, we don't have any conflicts between my principal, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu, and Ozugbo. He's just making noise. You scored 60-something votes, and you are going to court against someone who scored 1,455 votes. On what ground?
Well, these people will say that there are two factions of APC right now in Anambra State.
There is no two factions. We have one APC in Anambra State.
And one of this faction in APC is being sponsored by the governor. And the likes of Ozugbo, the governor knows that if Ozugbo emerge as the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, automatically the governor does not stand a chance because Ozugbo has more representation than Okachukwu. But looking at all of this, how correct is the narrative that this whole process of the various rifts in the All Progressive Congress is being fueled by the governor of the state?
Thank you very much. Before now, I contested in 2023. I contested for House of Rep, Anambra East and West Federal Constituency. And I've been in the party. Other previous election is not, the way this election went is not as other previous election. In fact, this year's election is the best we have had so far in APC.
In terms of primaries?
Yes, the primary election. And for the first time, this is the best outing we had, and nobody went to court except for Ozugbo, who just came 2 weeks after the delegate form was sold. So what is his mission in the party? That is to tell you, somebody just came to contest an election after he didn't even get any delegate form for any of his delegates.
But you guys, APC saw that and still postponed the election.
I'm coming.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm coming.
Go ahead.
Okay, even in all of this, we postponed the election. Now you went into the election, and all you could score in that election is 60-something votes. And the person you think you are having conflict with, or you want to go to court against, is having 1,455 votes. Don't you see that is a last statement from the party itself and from the delegate that Nicholas Okachukwu is the candidate they want? So Val Ozugbo has nothing. We don't have any conflict with him. If there is no conflict. APC and Anambra State is not divided.
But the case is in court.
APC
is challenging the.
He will withdraw it. Don't worry. You will still see how the whole thing will play out. APC and Anambra State is not divided. This is the best election outing we have since APC and Anambra State came on board. This is the best. I told you I contested the last election. I didn't win it.
But I must tell you that this is the best outing that APC Anambra State has ever since its emergence in Anambra State.
All right, so let's begin to look at the various projects that the president came to commission even in Anambra State and what he has promised to do for the state. Of course, the president was able to commission the government house and the fund center, which you've tagged the Soludo's fund center, although it was not popularly tagged that way.
No, that is a solution fund.
Solution fund.
There was this flyover. P2B, I think it was P2B that built it. He went there, he repented. In fact, let me just tell us what Soludo is doing in Anambra State now is painting, renovating. In fact, the only two things for Soludo, even the government house, Soludo didn't start the government. He wasn't the one that awarded the government house. The government house have been built halfway. He only came to complete it. The fun city we are talking about, Soludo did not start it. The past governor awarded it, funded it to a point. Before he left, Soludo came and continued and completed it. The only thing I can tell you that Soludo started, awarded, and is some of the roads. And if you listen to his speech yesterday, he mentioned about 200 and something kilometers of road. And he said, he didn't even say that they are all completed. He said some were awarded by the past governor and some were awarded by himself. And not that they are all completed, that some are still in progress. So these are the, and when you want, like I was saying, that the only thing Soludo started and completed is just few of those roads. The government house we are talking about, it wasn't Badnuju that started it. And he built it halfway. But the money Badnuju put in that government house is even more than what Soludo.
Oh, it is believed that one good turn deserves another. Due to the achievement of Governor Soludo.
What are the? I'm trying to, when we are talking about achievements. I don't know our perception of what we call achievement.
If he has not achieved, I don't think President Bola Tinubu will come out to say that he has done magnificently well.
Let me even go to the minimum wage step, right, because we are not even pointing at that. The last time I came here, I said something that Soludo is not paying that 70,000 minimum wage Mr. President ordered for it to be paid. He was not paying that amount of money. It was on Workers' Day, the 1st of May, that he came on board during the Workers' Day. He now increased it and even decided to be paying more than what Mr. President ordered. He's not been doing that, but because he knew the president is coming, so he have to go ahead and do what he did, which Mr. President also pointed out yesterday. What we are seeing, what we saw in Soludo, what we expected from Soludo is not what we saw.
All right, we will say that one good turn deserves another. In this light, it is believed that Soludo is a performing governor.
It is believed.
It is believed. As Soludo is a performing governor. Even the president made that assertion yesterday. Now, this was what has led the president to also come out to further make promises to the good people of Anambra State. And he said that is going to be, because of this overjoy of the people, he said he's going to give a lot of projects in the state and promises a lot of highways will be commissioned and will be created. He was also made mention of tackling erosion in Anambra State. He spoke about the link road from Kogi to Anambra State through road infrastructure and talked about other promises that he made across the state. Don't you think that if the governor is not a performing governor or he has not been able to meet up to certain responsibility, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will not want to further commit to the development?
Governor Soludo doesn't need to be a performing governor for Mr. President to know what he needs to do in a nation where he's the president, he's the commander-in-chief. Soludo's inability to fix things in his own state will not stop Mr. President doing the right thing he's supposed to do because he's a progressive. And his administration is all inclusiveness. Whether you are working or not, he wants to bring you in. So what Mr. President did yesterday was what he's supposed to do. There are other things, I think the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, there is ongoing work there. So what he said he will do, he's a progressive. And I know him, he will do that. He's not only working in Anambra State, even in other states, there are ongoing projects by Mr. President as we are talking. So Anambra State is not a different case. The fact that Mr. President promised all these things is not because of the ability of, it's not because Charles Chukwuma Soludo have done well as we expected.
But he's a
him.
progressive. He's a progressive, and he said it's time for progressive to come together to work together.
Let me go to that.
All right,
Let me go to that statement. Charles Chukwuma Soludo said to Mr. President yesterday, before that was 2 months ago, before 2 months ago, it was still Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo that came and said there is nothing like APC in Anambra State. Before we went for election, like I said before, that Anambra State APC election, this is the best we had. Because sometimes we see some kind of sabotage and all of that. Like you said, some people speculated that maybe Charles Soludo is sponsoring some people in the party. But this year's own was a different thing. So what he saw was different from what the party used to, come up with other years. So what he saw, he thought other years, sometimes after the primary, they go to court, and then we might be in court till the general election ends. But this year's own, there is nothing like that. Also, we're just making noise. You will see what will happen. So we took Governor Soludo unaware. So it was after the election, he now saw that the emergence of Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu as APC candidate is a big threat to him. And so he needs to reschedule. And that was why he made that statement yesterday. He said to Mr. President that it is time for all progressive to work together.
Which the president is also a progressive, and the president automatically will align to that.
Yes, listen. He said it is time for all progressive to work together. And in Anambra State, we know who is the leader of the progressive. And of course, we all know who is the leader of the progressive. Is Mr. President. So what
in Anambra State?
Mr. President is the leader of the progressive. What is
but
the
in Anambra State, all progressive alliance is a progressive party.
No,
it's part of
you didn't look at what Soludo said to Mr. President. He said, Mr. President, it is time for all progressive to come together. You understand? And we know who is the leader of the progressives.
In the state or in Nigeria?
The progressives is not a singular.
In Anambra State or in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, we have one progressive. That is the APUGA. Then we also have progressive APC. Okay, we have in Anambra, we have the APC and progressive. Yes, that is, we have the two progressives. So looking at the statement of Soludo, he's not talking about just APUGA. He said it is time for all progressives to come together. And in Anambra, we know who is the leader of the progressives.
But we can't authoritatively say the governor is a sitting governor, and his party also is a progressive. And when you say there's a leader of the progressive, it sounds very, very contradictory.
Yes, he said we know who is the leader of the progressives.
Which is the governor.
So that it is time to work. When you looking at that statement, it is time to work. That means they have not been working together.
So, in terms of the progressives, yes, the progressives.
They have not been working together.
If we understand the governor, I think he's trying to say it's time for the progressives.
That is for the merging together.
Yes, probably imagine.
That's
where I was even coming from.
What that is telling you is that APUGA will work for APC in November 8th election.
Well, I was thinking that at this point we're going to be seeing in the nearest couple. I was waiting to ask you that after this meeting, President Tinubu commending the governor of Anambra State, and you are a stakeholder of the All Progressive. Are we going to see a fusion between the two parties come in November 8th in order to maintain the progressive? Because that statement sounds progressive.
It is only one flag we have in the government.
They can give an endorsement. What we saw that in the last election.
They have not given an endorsement.
November 8th is still far.
Yeah, this is just a speculation.
So I was wanting to ask, when we say let the progressives work together, and
he did not say let he said it is time for the progressives
to work together.
Yes,
and he is the leader of the progressives in Anambra State.
Soludo is not the leader of the progressives.
All Progressive Grand Alliance is not a progressive. I don't understand that part of it. All Progressive Grand Alliance is not a
is
progressive.
more progressive than APGA.
I don't understand
All
that part.
Progressive
Grand Alliance, yes. APGA.
Is progressive in APGA, and then we have the APC.
All progressive, which now makes we have dual progressives in the state.
Yes.
And he's saying that it's time for all progressives to work together. Don't you think at this point there will be more of a proposition for all parties, all progressive in the states, to come together in order to retain power for the All Progressive Congress, knowing that all of them are progressives, and the president has given almost a near nod to some of his achievements so far.
We are saying the same thing. What Mr. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is saying with what he said is that November 8th, remember he endorsed President Tinubu.
Yes.
Anambra State adopted President Tinubu for his election.
Re-election 2027.
Yes. For his re-election. And President Tinubu is the leader of the All Progressive
Congress.
He is the leader. And what it means is that it is only one flag that is permitted to fly, even in Anambra State government house.
During the presidential election.
No, it's the
What if the governor is saying that, President, we are going to allow only one flag to fly come the presidential election, we will forfeit our chances of presenting a candidate come 2027 election and support the agenda of the All Progressive Congress, while we want the All Progressive Congress right now to also back us in order to retain power and maintain the status quo even in the state. What if this is a proposition?
Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, we have to work with APC for the November 8th election. And APC Anambra State will win that election. And then 2027, the Mr. President Asuwaju will win his election. Now, Mr. President also made a statement. He said to Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo that when I win my election, I will make you one of my advisors. Did you read that?
Yeah.
So when I win my election, I will make you one of my advisors. These things is settled. One thing Soludo will be regretted. I must tell you this now. If Soludo had known that Nicholas Ukachukwu will emerge as the APC candidate, or that there won't be crisis in APC just like we used to have other years, he would have defected to APC before the primary election. You can see what is happening in the nation already. If Charles Chukwuma Soludo knew that Nicholas Ukachukwu will emerge, or that there won't be crisis after the primary election, I tell you this, Charles Chukwuma Soludo would have defected to APC even before the primary election. And that would have given him a kind of room. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we took him unaware. The whole thing took him unaware. After the primary election, he started running helter-skelter. That is where the problem starts. And so he took advantage of the visit of Mr. President.
So you are saying Nicholas is more popular than Ozugbo, even in Anambra State?
Who is Ozugbo? we are talking about, we are not talking, when did Ozugbo came on board in Anambra politics? Can we talk and say something else, please? Because he just like, discussing Ozugbo here is like a child's play.
All right, let's not talk child's play. Let's go back to serious bones, because children don't eat bones, adults do. So let's talk bones this evening. Now, let's look at this whole process again and try to look at the Anambra State APC with the various speculations that there is a lot of disunity in the party, and knowing fully well that All Progressive Congress has become native within the Anambra. The good people of Anambra State, which is the All Progressive Congress, has become native. And looking at all of this in the forthcoming election, come November the 8th, does APC stand a chance of winning any office in Anambra State? Just on the final thing before we let you go.
Not just any office. APC has enough chance. We are at advantage to win this election.
Even though APGA is native in order to support the late Ikemba.
We are so happy.
APGA is in the memory of the late Ikemba. Won't this automatically mean? Yeah.
We are so happy In fact, we are so happy with the visit of Mr. President yesterday and all that played out, because now it helps us to now, it will begin to make the work easier for us. After all, Soludo came out to say that Mr. President is doing well in the state. He has done well. So he has helped us to a kind of sensitize in the Anambra that APC, that they said that APC is not this, is not that. That for the governor himself to come out openly.
But the president did not speak badly about the All Progressive Grand Alliance.
Now let me tell you, do you know that even yesterday when Mr. President come, no single flag of Apuka.
Because it was banned.
Why was it banned?
All flags were banned in order
No,
to cause
all flags were,
controversies
no, all
between
flags
the All
were not banned,
Progressive Grand Alliance. So it won't be.
flag.
They said they should have.
You guys said that all flags.
It won't be tilted
No,
towards partisans' ground. That was the
So,
reason that was
okay,
given.
it won't be doing what?
Tilted towards
So why
partisans'
then
ground.
are people now
Because they
taking
don't want-
advantage? Why then are people now speculating that Mr. President came on the political?
The president spoke and spoke more. Going by what happened yesterday,
Yes.
the president spoke about the achievement of what the governor has been doing. And this serves like a green light that the governor is a performer. Or don't you think so?
So, you know, we've said this thing
Yes.
before. Let's start from what played out. When Mr. President came, he was first received by APC. APC were on ground from the airport. They were all over the place.
But no concrete decision or conversation happened with the president.
Because he came mainly for a walking tour.
And he gave,
and it cannot be interrupted.
And he gave his full support and almost blessing to
He
Charles
did-
Soludo.
No, what Mr. President did is what he's supposed to do. He told other states, and what he did to Soludo yesterday was the same thing he did in other states.
Knowing fully well that election is coming, election is by the corner, and he still went ahead to give his blessings. He still went ahead to speak as though...
What happened yesterday,
Yeah.
Mr. Godwin, was the right thing Mr. President was supposed to do. And in Anambra State, we, the APC, we are happy that those things that played out yesterday, it played out. We are very happy about it. There is nothing wrong with what Mr. President did. And that is not endorsement. What he did to Soludo yesterday was the same thing he did in Katsina, was the same thing he did in Abia, was the same thing he did in Enugu State. And what Soludo presented to Mr. President as his legacy project and vision of Dubai Tower for Anambra State is not even up to that which Enugu presented to him, that which Katsina presented to him, or Abia State. So Mr. President did what he's supposed to do, applauded him. Look at his statement. He said, your audacious vision, not the audacious. It is what you, Soludo, presented. I'm putting it back to you. It is your audacious vision, your vision of Dubai Tower. That was what Mr. President said. If you listen to that speech, he said, I came here to commission your audacious vision of Dubai Tower for Anambra State, not the. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, what Mr. President did is what he is supposed to do. And so, when he came into Anambra State yesterday, he was first received by APC. Everywhere it was so colorful with APC flag and all the stakeholders and members of APC. But there was not single flag of, okay, like you said, an instruction was given from Soludo that they shouldn't put on their uniform. He's not even proud of any of them. Okay, they should. Let's just say that he wants to honor the visit of Mr. President. Fine. So if you think that why you gave that instruction is so that it will not be a political whatever, then why then are you not taking advantage of a walking visit to project yourself that you are endorsed by Mr. President?
Well, Ruth, so that we don't have all the answers even on this table, of course. We want.
We just have to be sincere to help ourselves to state. If you say that the reason why you gave an instruction that the people should not put on their party uniform and they should not come with any flag so that it doesn't look political, why then are you taking advantage of just a walking visit to say that you were endorsed by Mr. President?
Well,
There was nothing as such that happened in Anambra State. In fact, we love that Mr. President came to Anambra State, applauded Soludo the way he applauded every other governor he visited, and said all that he said. We love that. And what Mr. Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo said about Mr. President and about APC has made the work easier for us. At least he have told Indian Anambra the truth that APC is the right party to belong, that APC is working, no longer what they used to tell them. So it is now open, it is now in the air that come November 8th, that Indian Anambra will come together and vote for APC, since Soludo have come out to say it with his mouth that we will work together.
Well, it is a good way of saying, and thank you so much, Ruth, for being a part of the show this evening. We know that Anambra will, on November the 8th, hold a governorship election, and two things are certain. The All Progressive Congress and the All Progressive Grand Alliance will be on the ballot. Soludo and other candidates will have to dig it out come November the 8th.
And the APC will win the election.
Okay, so we'll take that as the final
And
take.
in fact, we so much love that we so much love what Mr. President did yesterday. We have no, in fact, it made the work easier for us.
Well, I've been saying now right now that it's time to go. Remember that you can join the conversation on our various social media handle, again now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. And you can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app from Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Enjoy the rest of your evening.